Hi, my name is JT Cameron, and I'm doing an assignment for 722, and this is our journal on the danger of the single story. And I kind of have a reaction to it that I hope is a little unique. I think the video is incredible for a lot of reasons because it really looks at the heart of human nature and how we see the world as a totality without having all the information. And the real danger of the single story in any case, and like she pointed out, was that it's not complete, that there is always more to the story. There's context that we miss. Now, here's what's interesting. My take is this, is that no single story typically, unless on purposely told, is not is invalid, in the sense that there's probably truth in authentic single stories, no matter if they don't have the completeness at all, but they are just a piece of the puzzle. It doesn't mean that the other parts that are not told yet have more truth or are more authentic. The difference is that these stories need to be woven together to show the whole picture. No one person carries all the knowledge or has the right to tell anybody that a single story is untrue or not, as long as those are authentic and not purposefully made up out of fabrication. And like she said, stereotypes are pieces of elements that are also not complete. So as humans, we need to always remember that no matter how we think and the way we look around, is that our stories are not necessarily complete, and that we need to always learn and gain knowledge from people around us to get the complete story. So our opinions, we need to realize, are based in maybe an incomplete story. And that as we give our opinion, we need to give it in the vein that this is what I believe as this point with all the information that I have. And when we listen to someone else, we need to know that they're giving us their opinion with all the information that they have. But in real dialogue, the two giving information together may make a story more complete. It doesn't mean that one side or the other side is more valid than the other. It just means that both sides share parts of a real story that we all don't necessarily have access to until we have that dialogue. For me, that's a very powerful thing. It goes beyond this idea of those being in the majority or those being in the minority. And I understand all the dangers and stuff that are about that in history. It goes beyond the idea of what you don't understand what I went through, or you can't understand what I went through. Because that's absolutely true. Because we don't contain all the story. And just because my story has one element to it, or your story has an element to it, doesn't mean I contain any more truth or you contain any more truth than me. Maybe us putting those two things together, we just start to dispel the things that we believed in the stereotype world and start to put together a real story. I was very, taken about her experience and how she put herself in the single story category. I think we all fall into that one way or another. We have a preconceived notion of what we do, and that's not always bad. To have a preconceived notion gives you a certain amount of expectation. It's about survival in some cases. The difference is our attitude when we're confronted with information that's different than our preconceived idea. And when we do a better job of dealing with that, then we become a better person in many cases. It's not that I have to accept everyone's story as the absolute truth over my own, because I can hold on to opinions based on how I believe about the story I've given. But if I'm one that really wants to look at it, I have an open mind to listen to other people's story, to make my story and the one that I know more complete than what I've had before. And yes, we must be wary of people who tell us false stories. Those come into the mix many times. But at the same time, that's why that dialogue can help solve those problems. I just think it's a pretty good thought process to go through and listen to that. I enjoyed the story, and that's my take on the single story. Thank you.